So this cap was off and something was pressing down on this and it leaked butane all throughout here. I start this thing up and we just boom. Maybe I should move this box away. Hey guys, this episode of Stuff and Things is brought to you by Onyx Off-Road. You hear me talk about it all the time, and it is my absolute favorite application for finding nearby trails, planning and tracking my trips, allowing me to get home safely. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, but Onyx Off-Road is probably my most used application on my phone next to like YouTube and other social media stuff, because whenever I have some downtime, I'm constantly scanning my surroundings and finding new trails. I'm marking waypoints, I'm sharing camp spots with my friends. I essentially use it like a social media app for connecting with my friends who also love and enjoy off-roading and the outdoors. There are over 500,000 points of data that you can find in this app, from featured trails with guide level data to different camp spots. You can filter the maps depending on what type of vehicle you drive, like a side-by-side, an ATV, a dirt bike, or a high clearance 4x4 like I'm sitting on right now. With an Elite membership, you also get access to public and private land data. That way you know where you're going, you know where you can and cannot camp, and it really adds to the safety of getting out there and enjoying the outdoors. Onyx Off-Road is the #1 app that I use for finding local trails. I can also turn on the 3D mode and sort of scan around to find different camp spots. I think I should bring you guys a full video on how I do that sometime here in the near future. So you can get started today by downloading the app for free, but if you want the full features, you can also use my code TALONSCI or the link in the description down below for 20% off of a yearly trial. I have to give a huge thank you to Onyx Off-Road for sponsoring videos like this, because without them, I wouldn't be able to make as many as you guys see here on the channel. Now with all of that being said, let's get into today's adventure. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. We're out here on a little weekday adventure because I unfortunately missed out on camping just after the Overland Expo Mountain West, which we left this weekend. So I'm out here today with my buddy Sam, aka Rocky Mountain Yoda. You've been seeing him a lot more lately because he's one of my few friends who can actually come out and camp on random weekdays like this. Sam, what you got new on the truck?
Oh man, everything.
He just switched out some wheels, some suspension components. What do you go with, locked?
Locked off-road.
Locked off-road.
Extended travel fronts, and then I of course had to match Talon and get the Tundra rears.
Tundra rears. More and more people are doing Tundra rears, and I love it. You've already noticed a little bit of a difference, I guess?
Oh yeah, 100%.
But today you'll really be able to know. So this will be the first time with it off-road now.
Yep, first time doing it, should be good.
So the trail that we're hitting up today is a place that I pass in my travels quite frequently, and I never even really realized there was a trail here until I was scrolling around on Onyx last night. So I scouted a spot which looks like it'll be good for camping. With all the data that they gave us, they said it can get a little rocky, so we're gonna air down a little bit and check this new spot out. Hopefully it's good. We almost made it. So we're on our way up, kind of getting above the tree line here, and I was trying to make it up to a mountain peak way up there. Not sure why there are no motor vehicles allowed here, but apparently that is a thing. So we were actually following this trail that I found on Onyx up into a point where the featured part of the trail kind of stopped, like maybe half a mile back, and this just shows as double track, which is still on national forest land, so it's legal to drive up here, legal to camp up here. but I was hoping we could drive all the way to the top because the trails up there look pretty sick. So instead, I think we're going to jump back down to another campsite, which looked pretty promising. It looked like it had some good views. And the whole reason for this trip, at least for me, actually for Sam too, is sort of like a content trip. I got a bunch of new products on the truck, in the truck, like always, so I'm gonna be testing out some of that stuff. I got the new prototype 2.0 tent from Free Spirit Recreation, so I'm gonna shoot a full video on that, and got some cool stuff to show you guys. I'm gonna end up filming like probably 3 or 4 videos while we're out just tonight. Got a little bit of sunlight left, so we're gonna head down to another campsite. I'm gonna start working on some of that other content, and then I'll check in with you guys, show you what the campsite looks like. A few hours later, was that a few hours? I feel like I was filming for like 2 hours. We made it to our campsite, we got everything set up. This is the new tent behind me. I'm pretty sure that video is already out, so you're watching this after the fact. Check out this cool little spot. So we got trees blocking wind, we got rocks blocking wind as well. And then if we come up here, got some pretty epic views out here. So these 2 peaks off in the distance is where I was originally trying to get. So this is a fallback camp spot, but definitely pinning this to Onyx because it's nice and quiet. We haven't seen another vehicle the whole time we were up here, so it's going to be a pretty quiet and chill night. We are still on a fire ban. Fire level is moderate, even though it's been raining like almost every day here in Colorado. So no fire. Still don't have a propane fire pit. Someone out there, someone out there has a propane fire pit and you want me to test it on a video, I would love to. Now let's get into some technology, not camping technology like tech. Some of you are gonna be like super hateful of this, but I have my reasons. In this case right here, I have some technology that's going to help me out through the winter, help me on some more extended travels. A lot of people have asked me why I never had one of these, and the real reason is I don't need to be connected all the time. However, Ashley is going to be hopefully working remote soon, which means she will be able to travel with me, and that means we need internet. So right here I have the new Starlink RV. I'm not a complete nerd about this stuff. I think it's really cool. I'm not like an Elon Musk fanboy, but some people like super nerd out about this stuff. So everything that I tell you here might be wrong, but take it with a grain of salt. So this version of the Starlink allows you to move it around and set it up wherever. I've seen people mount them to vehicles. I just threw mine in this little Pelican case here, and it fits okay. I actually have their like backpack travel case on order, but that's not going to come until like mid-September. So I can set this thing up by plugging it into the base right here. I will eventually find a good spot to put this. I'm probably going to like set it out on the rocks over here. That way it has a clear view of the sky. I can then plug it into the actual router into power, and then we should have some pretty decent internet. Up here I have actually a little bit of cell phone service. It kind of comes and goes, but I just wanted to set this up and test it out because I set it up at the expo, used it once, and then didn't use it all weekend. So I want to put this thing through its paces to see if it will be good enough for me to upload videos when I'm camping in places like this. I've done some ridiculous stuff camping, like set up a projector and play Wii Bowling on the side of a van. But this might
This might take the cake.
This might take the cake. This is a little absurd. So I've got the antenna, satellite, whatever that thing's called, sitting on a rock over there. I've got the cable running over here. This thing uses like I think it's a mini HDMI. Sort of looks like a mini HDMI. So that plugs into here. I will plug power into here, and then power into my anchor system. So with that setup, should be good, should work. Not sure how much power this is going to draw. I would assume like 120. Let's see. Now I'm going to bring you guys over to the antenna satellite thing. What is it, a satellite?
Yeah.
I think it's a satellite. We're going to take you over to the other piece of this whole setup. This is how much I don't really care about Starlink, but it is really cool when it works. And we're going to show you guys how it like positions around to find the closest Starlink up there in the sky. Oh, it's already moving. I was setting up the camera. So it is now finding its location, sitting a little bit too close to that bush. Okay, I think it just leveled itself. So now that it is pointed directly up, this of course has an app where you can control everything. I can actually check for obstructions, check the speed. It is currently determining its location, and once it acquires GPS signal, it may take up to 15 minutes, but it will then position towards the closest connection. This is what the app looks like, currently showing that it's offline. You can check out network, statistics, internet speed, the range. You can shop for accessories, setting support, and all that good stuff. All right, so I've been sitting here for a couple minutes. The other piece over there positioned itself facing kind of directly into a line of trees, which is not good, obviously, but I'm just kind of testing this thing out now. I found that if I turn off my cellular connected data, I can actually get a better connection. The app is actually telling me right now that it is obstructed, and now it's offline. Okay, so this is not the ideal spot for a Starlink. I could obviously move it around a little bit. It looks like it is positioned, that is east. Now it's back online. So not ideal spot with all these trees around here, but let's just do a speed test for the hell of it. I would imagine it's not going to be super high, so I'm going to click run on the speed test. 50, 60-ish megabits per second. So definitely not fast, but it's a connection nonetheless. So if I'm in an area where there's absolutely no reception, I can actually still get a connection to make a phone call. I was actually FaceTiming a couple minutes ago. Yo, these yellow jackets need to get out of here. So speed test, not great in this current location, but actually when I set it up in Loveland, it was screaming fast. You can also do advanced speed tests, but I'll bring you guys some more content on that in the future when I'm in a area that's more suited for this. Some people really love Elon Musk. They're like,
no, it's the greatest thing ever, you're not doing it right.
You're right, I'm probably not doing it right, but we got internet out here in the woods, which means in the future I can work while I'm on the road. It is now time for dinner. Instead of bringing a bunch of cooking stuff out here and doing something extravagant, some people think steak is extravagant when you're camping, we're just doing some ramen tonight. I never put the cap back on one of my butane canisters, and this Rome box has been completely disorganized from the expo over the weekend. So this cap was off and something was pressing down on this and it leaked butane all throughout here. So when I opened the box up, it smelled like a bomb that was going to explode. Still using the gas one stove. Actually, I really like this thing. Dude, it even smells like butane in there. You smell that? Yeah. just from opening that. I'm gonna let this air out. I start this thing up and we just boom. Maybe I should move this box away. I keep all of my cooking stuff in the Step 22 Chameleon. You guys have seen this. So I can just move this like back and forth between vehicles. I have their Stingray boxes inside of the Rome box too, just for a little bit of like padding and organization. I really need to organize this thing, but it still is a pretty nice setup, especially when I have the panel on the Rome box as well. We got some fancy ramen tonight, Tapatio ramen. Ready for it? All right, we are now boiling. We got a big old packet, so we know it's gonna be good. Ooh, we might have to reboil water to get some for yours. That fill line's pretty high. All right, 3 minutes. Oh, Fiji. You're putting Fiji water. Wait, let's go over here. Fiji water into ramen. Tell us you're a bougie influencer without telling us you're bougie. You're gonna need more than that.
Fancy ramen requires fancy water.
You know what would be even better? Liquid Death. That's good stuff.
Oh.
Liquid Death and ramen.
Add a little lime flavor in there.
Ooh. Tapatio ramen test time. What do we think this is going to be on a scale of 1 to 10?
Tapatio, I don't know.
Love me some Tapatio.
Could be anywhere.
Low kick. Little kick. Got the vegetables in it. I like these bigger bowls as opposed to like cup of noodles. Because you could eat like 5 cup of noodles.
Oh, for sure.
If like proper restaurant ramen is on the scale of 1 to 10, I'll put this at about a 5.6. Feels fair to me.
5, 6, yeah.
I mean, because anything above 6 is like getting into restaurant quality. So, it does have the sombrero guy on it. Reminds me of home.
That adds the 0.6.
Yeah. It's the sombrero guy that adds the 0.6. Alright, the sunset is upon us. I think it has already actually dipped behind the mountains. High above the aspens. So this right here is what it's all about. This is actually going to be a pretty peaceful night. Going to be able to get to bed early in that super comfortable mattress. I still have to show you guys the inside of the tent. And it's also going to be a little bit chilly tonight, which I'm personally stoked on. Got the tri-layer on the tent, gonna bundle up, gonna sleep great. And we're back. It's about 10 o'clock at night now, getting ready to go to bed. This is going to be my first night sleeping in this new tent, kind of in the wild. If you guys haven't caught the walk around video of the tent, leave a link for it up there in the corner. Slept in it a few nights at Expo, but now we're actually out here using it in the woods. It's only going to get down to like a real feel of 45 tonight, so it's not going to be too bad. Since Sam and I are both clamshell gang, we're just going to lay in our tents and talk up there because our tents are warmer than just sitting out here. I do not have the LEDs in here yet. I'm just using my little Claymore headlamp, which I typically wear on my hat, just for a little bit of light in here. I'm leaving the Claymore lantern down there because it's kind of buggy and I don't want them flying up into the tent. So here's a look at night of the inside setup. Got a ton of storage up there. Just keeping everything in the side pockets up by my head. What's great about this type of setup too is with this new like extended awning here, I can sit here with my legs outside of the tent and still be sheltered by rain, which is really nice. I didn't mention it in the walk around video, but you can also stand on your tailgate and be like underneath this little roof here looking into the tent, which is a really nice touch. So we are going to hang out here, chat for a bit, and then go to bed. Tomorrow morning I don't have a ton of plans. I do have a few more videos that I could film, but I do have to get home and see the puppies, so I will check in with you guys in the morning and maybe we'll do a slight little mini side quest adventure. Good morning. It is about 8 o'clock in the morning and this is what the tent looks like on the inside. It's pretty dark in here. But now if I open up one of these windows, whew, you can tell the sun is up and shining. So I slept great last night thanks to this mattress. I did sleep with these top vents open up here and then everything else kind of sealed up, and there is like virtually zero condensation. I don't know if that is because it's just dry here in Colorado. Could be like extra dry between last weekend camping in this thing and then now, but could be a good design too. There have been nights where I camped out when it feels dry, but depending on the tent that I'm using, there is a lot of condensation, and even the tri-layer up here, it's completely dry. I don't know. I think it could be the newly designed vents. Morning.
Morning.
How'd you sleep in there?
Oh man, gotta love rock hard mattresses.
What a great place to wake up in. So now I need to show you guys the only piece that I didn't really show you in the tent walk around, and that is how to close it. I mentioned in the video that we have some like technical difficulties right now between the mattress and the latches, but I think I've figured out a good enough method until we actually improve the mattress, improve the latches, and improve the tent. So let me show you how this goes. So I'm gonna start this process by opening this left valve over here, and that will allow the air to escape just a little bit, so I can let that thing start to get smaller. For now, I'm taking my pillows and blankets out, but in the future, having this stuff stored in the tent is definitely on my priority list. And now for the ridiculous part, because my normal air mattress pump thing does not fit on these valves because this is a prototype and I explained all this already. I brought with a little vacuum cleaner. That way I can suck all the air out and compress this thing down. Are you ready for the morning noise? So just a couple seconds with that. And now this mattress is back to being super thin. Not the best way to do it, not super efficient right now because we have to still work on this stuff, but even with the inconvenient method, how I'm using this thing right now, I still think it's worth it because of how comfortable this is. So now I can grab these little fabric keepers, which are on hooks along the side of the tent. I can latch those together in the middle, that way as I close this tent up, it will sort of suck in the sides a little bit. Now I need to release the bar from the top rain fly. And now this is why I wanted the removable strap, because a lot of times it's just kind of like hanging in the way, but tall enough you can just reach the handles. Now, as you can kind of see here, since the mattress inside of this tent is about 3 inches wider than the actual tent itself, kind of bows out. So that is kind of where I was running into an issue before. I'm gonna live with it for now because I really want to test this thing out, but as I close this up and latch it, now there is still a little bit of a gap in this tent. These latches at the angle that they're at, they're not super stout either. So I've actually been using a perfect bungee just to hold those down. Now they can't move. You would think that a little gap like this could cause issues and you could get water in the tent, but because I closed up the windows before I actually folded this thing down, and because the bottom is completely sealed, there's actually no water that can get inside of the actual tent. So obviously I know about this issue, FSR knows about this issue, and we are going to tackle that in the next rendition of this prototype tent. Alright, so we made it back down to the point where we are going to air up, and we're gonna try something different. I just have a single ARB hose that I connect to each tire. The little keeper fell out, so I have to like hold it on the tire. Sam has some more plates where I can connect all of the tires at once, so we're gonna put them all on, equalize the pressure, and then go back up to like 35-ish. Getting strong. So because of how I have my airline mounted back here, I have to use kind of a shorter hose because it goes underneath my Diamondback cover. So I've got my ARB hose feeding into the Morphlate, and Sam is getting his tires all connected. And now since I have all of my electrical running into the Garmin power switch, I can actually just turn on my air compressor from my phone, which is cool. Now I just crack this thing open and wait till it gets up.
Yep.
So with the ARB Twin, I would assume it would take maybe 3 to 5 minutes for 35s.
Yeah, we're going from 12 PSI to probably 34, 35.
Yeah, my tires are extra low now that they're all cooled off. So my guesstimate was a little bit off. That was about 10 minutes going from 12 PSI up to 35.3 with an ARB Twin compressor. Now, if you leave this closed, because all of the hoses are still connected, all of the tires will equalize. So every tire should be almost exactly the same pressure, and that satisfies my OCD a lot. And just like that, we are all aired up. It's time to head home. I gotta check on the puppy and get some more work done, editing, and all the fun behind the scenes stuff. If you guys don't already follow Sam, check out his Instagram. There's his handle right above his head. And he's going to be coming out doing some more trips with us until all this stuff closes. It's gonna be September, like tomorrow or 2 days, and then all these aspens are gonna change colors and we're gonna get some snow. So we're trying to get as much in as we can before that happens. I think that's all that I got for now. So if you guys are new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week. As always, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.